cacao was first discovered in Mesoamerica, and a Mexican civilization called the Olmecs were the first to grow cacao and process it for consumption. Cacao was deeply adapted by the Aztec and Mayan culture and linked very strongly to religion. They believed that cacao bean had magical or even divine properties suitable for most sacred rituals like birth, marriages, and even death.
The cacao. For the Aztecs, cacao is a major part of our culture and religion. Within the Aztecs, we have a very firm belief that only the elite and the most superior can taste the cacao and its bitter deliciousness. In our religion, we do have a belief that the gods itself fated us to have these cacao plants in our land.
But the foreigners?
The foreigners, they are quite persistent, but I feel they will have the crop they need once we perform a few human sacrifices. You understand, don't you? My husband and I must remain in power, and to do so we must perform these sacrifices. We should have 50 to 100 done this weekend, and before that, we'll feed them some cacao, just so before they die, it will at least be a sweet death.
Cacao was used as a currency for a short period of time in Mesoamerica before the Spanish conquest, so I guess you can say money really did go on cheese. Cacao beans were even more valuable than gold dust and were exchanged for all kinds of commodities. However, the beans were very perishable and bulky to transport in large quantities and made some serious drawbacks as a form of money.
Thief! Thief! Thief!
Excuse me.
Yes?
Trade.
Trade?
Trade. I want orange.
Only cacao, no credit.
Orange.
Only cacao, no credit.
Spices for orange.
Only cacao, no credit.
Solid gold.
Listen, you must not be from around here. For the last 7 weeks, all we've used for our currency is cacao. I'm sorry, but we don't trade anymore. So long now.
Gold.
Bye-bye now.
Excuse me, I want onion.
Hold back.
Yes, I want a Columbian.
70 cacao. Sold!
Hernando Cortez, after conquering the Aztec in the name of Spain, begins to record the usage of cacao in the Aztec court of Emperor Montezuma. He then capitalizes on an opportunity to grow money and builds a cacao plantation, beginning a Spanish cacao monopoly that lasts 2 centuries. He then brought these beans back to Spain, and very gradually, the practice of drinking chocolate spread throughout Europe. However, his plantations often contributed to rampant deforestation.
Slave. Cacao. Never would have thought that this simple plant could bring me all of the riches that I have today. Me, Hernando Cortez, a simple conquistador. Now, all of these riches, a great plantation, hundreds and hundreds of slaves, all doing my bidding, picking up the wonderful fruit cacao. Oh man, it might have been at the cost of a little bit of trees going away, some deforestation, but that's not anything I need to worry about. Get back to work. Adios, amigos.
Beans were brought to Spain. They were hidden in monasteries, where they were processed into chocolate drink. Because of the early colonization of the Americas, Spain held a monopoly on chocolate for many years. Only the wealthiest and most well-connected Spanish nobility could afford this expensive import. It was associated with worldly enlightenment for this very reason and helped prosperous royalty stay in power.
So how was your day, Your Highness?
My day was pretty great, you know. Our economy is doing fantastic as usual. I met with some financial advisors. Our cacao production's at an all-time high, which is not a surprise. Between that and silver, we have a monopoly over the Americas. We're making so much money over that. Cacao, have you ever tried it before?
Of course not.
Of course you haven't. You're not part of the rich and elite. But I'm so glad it's spreading all across Europe. It's all the rage in France and Brussels and Italy too. It's amazing. Even the religion has gotten involved. The Pope and the nuns, they all agree that when it's fasting time, you can still eat cacao and it doesn't count as part of fast. Isn't that awesome? It's
That's
part of religion
incredible,
too.
Your Highness.
It's very incredible.
So can I try some cacao now?
Out of my way, peasant.
The plantation system attempted to reap maximum benefits for the least expense. Productive lands were taken away from native groups, and Africans were enslaved to work on the plantations, and resources were extracted until the land was drained. European colonial landowners turned to Africa to supply them with the necessary labor for the production of the crop. For over 2 centuries, a combination of millions of wage laborers were enslaved people were used to create a large workforce.
Son, how long has it been since we've left our home country?
It has been far too long, Mother. Our lives were over as soon as those foreigners brought us to this infernal land.
And for what? To harvest this crop day in and day out?
Us and millions of other slaves, our countrymen, were brought here to work on these farms like we were nothing.
When will it end?
Only God knows.
Sleep!